Well, hello everyone, and welcome to the Prepared Mind channel. This is the backup channel, though, and a happy Thanksgiving to you. And I hope it is a happy Thanksgiving that you're spending with friends, family, loved ones. Wow, I've got an interesting little broadcast for you. Not the typical Thanksgiving message because shit has hit the fan, right? But still, happy Thanksgiving nonetheless. So let's get into things a little bit, shall we? To start off with, we're all feeling the big inflation pinch. Everyone's complaining about it. So, in order to combat Bidenflation or inflation, right, the cost of goods going up, NBC did a little special piece to help us all figure it out because we're all too stupid to think for ourselves. Good thing NBC is around on the Today Show. Here's what they said. Do potluck. Have everyone bring a dish so you split the cost. Or ask people right up front to give you some money. Charge them some money to come over for Thanksgiving. I remember back in the Pilgrim days when the Native Americans charged the Pilgrims money. No, wait. It was probably the evil white Pilgrims who charged the Native Americans money to join in their Thanksgiving feast. Well, I don't know. That doesn't sound quite right either because they didn't really even have money in the colonies at that point. Anyways, back on target with NBC and their excellent advice on how to combat President Biden's inflation that he's doing absolutely nothing to fix. And in fact, he's doing things that actually encourage it and make it worse. They say, consider not buying a turkey at all. That's right, folks. Thanksgiving Day is commonly referred to as Turkey Day. No turkey for you. That'll save you some money, huh? Unbelievable where these people are going with this. So I have heard from several different sources, right? Plus the mainstream news that there's this thing called critical race theory out there. And teachers are pushing it. And it's part of the curriculum now. It's part of the language. Students don't like it. Parents definitely don't like it. And but it's being pushed that all Europeans are white and all white Europeans are evil and they hurt everyone. So I've heard that, the original story that we hear, the truth, the facts that we're supposed to hear about Thanksgiving are that white man came over here and killed all the Native Americans and that they're almost extinct. That's right, folks, that it's hard to find a Native American in America. And I find that rather preposterous since I've worked in and around Native American communities. They're here, folks. They're still alive. They're doing well. But yeah, the white Europeans came over. That's the original Thanksgiving. So I guess critical race theory teaches that they probably stole everything from the Native Americans, and we're celebrating that. But that's really, I don't think, what happened. The story of Thanksgiving is actually one of thanks. It's one of gratitude. You see, the white European settlers did come over here. And I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to sugarcoat it or bullshit you and say that there wasn't times of conflict. There were some tribes that were not happy about these new people that came to North America. And they attacked them. And they operated under the rules of their belief systems, the Native Americans, that is, right? They had their own rules, their own culture, their own traditions, their own systems, and they operated by them. Some were more, shall we say, warlike, and others were not. Well, the Pilgrims were the same way. They had their own culture that they brought over, and you could consider them an invading force or not. So there were times of conflict, and then there were also times of cooperation. And I think the story of Joseph Smith is one of those stories, right? So we have a lot of interesting things. It was John Smith, not Joseph Smith. I think Joseph Smith was the one who started the Mormon thing. Anyways, I'm getting all scrambled up with all of my holidays and all of the bad things that happen in North America. Well, folks, bad things happen all around the world, through all times, through all peoples. But let's stay on target with Thanksgiving. In particular, the story was that the Pilgrims were doing very poorly with their ability to provide for themselves. They didn't really understand agriculture on this continent, the seasons, how to do it properly to get the maximum yield and maximum nutrition. And so the story goes that the Native Americans were helpful to them. Now, I can't believe, it's really hard to believe that if the Pilgrims were running around murdering everybody, that the natives would bother to teach them how to grow food, teach them how to trap, share with them their ideas, right? You don't do that with somebody who's trying to kill you constantly. So it sounds like there may have been some peaceful arrangements. Yeah, it makes a lot of sense, a lot more sense than the critical race theory story that's being taught to kids, and kids are being told this is a fact, right? That Europeans were over here murdering everybody. Unbelievable. The fact of the matter is that if the Native Americans were helping the almost incapable white man, then there was some level of cooperation and kindness. Right? Thanks, giving thanks. And so apparently they had a feast, right, where it was participated in by both Native Americans and the whites. Now, I don't know if this is true or if it actually happened, but that's the story, and it seems to make a little more sense. But let's assume, or let's, for the sake of the discussion, assume that there were no Native Americans at the very first Thanksgiving feast, or harvest feast, if you will, or harvest celebration, before it was called Thanksgiving. The reason that they were able to survive and do so well is they were cared for, they were given assistance. And the story is that, well, even if there were no Native Americans there, they were grateful for it, folks. And it appeared that way in the bounty of the meal. The fact that they were able to make it through longer, colder winters. Back then, folks, winters were very long and very cold. You bet. There was this thing called the Little Ice Age that lasted 500 years or so and didn't really let up until the end of the 1800s. And it appears we may be getting colder again anyways. Still, back on to Thanksgiving. Why is it so wrong at this stage to say Thanksgiving is about being thankful for being prosperous? Be thankful for a good harvest. Be thankful for having what? Friendship in others. Right? Really, to me, Thanksgiving has always been about not just eating a big turkey. It's about gathering together and celebrating life, celebrating a bounty of life. And it has also carried a secondary note with me that we can get along with others. Skin color, culture, it shouldn't matter. It doesn't really matter as long as you have love and peace in your heart. So who is teaching, who is pushing a curriculum, an agenda of no love? That's right, folks, the political leftists. They're the ones trying to say Thanksgiving shouldn't exist. Right? This great American tradition of multiculturalism, way before the word was even invented. Multiculturalism, folks. You could say that that's a celebration of multiculturalism, Thanksgiving, because it celebrates the generosity of the Native Americans towards the whites, and the whites sharing with the Native Americans as well. Isn't that interesting if you think of it from that direction? Right? The whole Rodney King, can't we all just get along thing? Well, they managed, and they managed to do so at that time, folks, without big government telling them how to behave. They managed to cooperate with Native Americans, the white settlers and the Native Americans. They managed to cooperate without an educational system pushing their agenda down anyone's throats, right? There's an old saying called necessity is the mother of invention. Necessity is the mother of invention. So what does that mean? Well, when there's where there's a need, where there's a will, there's a way, right? So if you have a need, you develop the will. And if you have the will, you develop the way to get it done. And that's what they did. Cooperate, share. Now, what do we have from the political left? Well, they want to share, but they only want you to share your money with them. And they want to tell everyone what to do, and your ideas don't count. That's how they operate, folks. That's how they think. Clearly, they're adversarial to all of us. They are, the political leftists. What I'm going to give thanks for this year is, once again, going to be the very same things that I've always given thanks for on Thanksgiving. And that is giving thanks for the bounty and the standard of living, the quality of life that we have. I'll give thanks for being around friends and family, loved ones. I'll give thanks that I'm here in America, where we have our rights. Not only do we know them in our hearts, but they're enshrined in our laws. Right? Spending a day giving thanks. Don't worry, shit hitting the fan is still here. It's not going away anytime soon. But I would ask that you also think about what it is America is. What is here that's worth being grateful or thankful for? And then I take it a step further, because this is just how I am. Right? If you're going to give thanks for something, that means it has value. Value. It's important. It has value. It means something. And there's people that would like to take that away from you, just as there's always been people who want to take away things of value from one, well, and give to themselves, claim they're going to give it to others. But yeah, people who take, thieves, they steal from us. There's people that would want to steal the things that we're grateful for, things that we're giving thanks for: freedom, liberty, prosperity, right? Life, liberty, pursuit of happiness. I'm very grateful and thankful that we have those things here. And there are people that want to take it away. And so by giving thanks, I'm also reminded that I need to be ever vigilant. That is, protective of my rights, protective of the rights of all, and that it needs to be properly defended. Right? Being vigilant doesn't mean what the word might imply to some ding-dongs, like a vigilante justice. No, I'm not about vigilante justice, but being vigilant. That is to be careful, to be prudent, to be cautious, to be wary, and understand that those things that we have can quickly and easily be taken away. So we need to be vigilant as well as thankful for the good things in our lives. We need to look to the history, to our past, to understand why they're important. And that is why the political left in education is no longer teaching real history, but rather manufactured history to try and support their beliefs and their agenda and their efforts. Right? They are the ungrateful. Look at them. They're ungrateful, the political leftists. They're always angry. They're always trying to take from you. And people that take from you, they are not your friends. They are not your family. Certainly not loved and appreciated. So yes, give thanks on Thanksgiving. Remember the stories you were taught as children. I'm sure they're a better story than the ones that are being taught today in the schools. It is your God-given right to celebrate. And though it's a secular holiday, Thanksgiving, it is a holiday nonetheless, and it is one that is strongly embedded in American tradition. Don't give it up, folks. Don't give up any of your traditions, your culture, or your rights. It is what makes us who we are, a great people, regardless of color, race, ethnicity, or any of that stuff. So be well, celebrate, have fun, and thank you for supporting the Prepared Mind Network and all the things that we do. And we wish all of you happy Thanksgiving, Merry Christmas, and happy holidays all the way around. Godspeed to you all.